Okay, and this will be a little exercise. Uh, AI impacts how education will be done, and AI also impacts because one of the graphs we have in our cheat sheet explains what the problem is here. So the problem becomes, how do we increase the number of experts? And I'd like to start off with this chart, and I don't really know how everyone is working. Is everybody already working in a group? The question I'm asking is, with this slide here, where one person sees more information and one person sees very little information, how do we increase the number of experts? Or is that the actual answer? And what is the solution for vendors who need to educate the people in their company? So the question is, how do we increase the number of experts? And how does that play with this slide we have here? That we have very few in the company who may understand enough to be, quote, called an expert. And how do we get the guys who don't see as much to actually get better and can be utilized by the company? And the question is, number one, do you all agree that the number of people who are visionaries, who are shown like they can see more of what's going on, and it's the bigger circle, uh, how do we intend to get more of the people who are in that vendor's organization to become like that visionary vendor? There's certain things that are part of reality. And when I started studying the best value approach 30 years ago, we weren't so definite on some of these items. We knew they were true, but we didn't push it as much. Today, at where I am in my point in life, I actually believe that people who are efficient and people who understand reality will understand that although people can change, the number of people who are changing is so small. And I agree with Pascal. In my estimation, it's these people who start beginning to make the changes in the world. The others who think you can change people, who think you can influence people, who want to spend more resources on getting together in groups and discussing it, I don't believe we have the time anymore to do these activities. And that is why when we took 4.0 and we said, we're going to stop all humanistic processing, which includes, we want to stop having meetings. We want to stop increasing the amount of information we're looking for. And we want to stop all these things that are traditional. We knew that in order to make 4.0 work, we had to design it to actually stop a human being from going in there and using traditional ideas. So even though people do change, we still believed that these people will not have the capability to make 4.0 work. So to hear Pascal say that he's not in the business now to work with these types of people uh, is music to my ears. It's not because we're saying that there's some people who are better, but what we are saying is we have only so much time, and we have to utilize correct concepts. So the question is, if we have people who are in these larger circles where they are, quote, have more information and they are identified as visionaries, how do they go and take the people in the smaller circles now and get them, quote, to become more like them? Well, the first thing is, this is not something that I will like to do. This is something that will take a lot of time. This is something that I don't believe it's efficient or economical to do in any organization. So, what do I now propose? I propose in taking the people who see less information, who don't know what they don't know, and we're going to be able to tell the difference between the visionary, who can see everything from beginning to end, and we're going to take others who can't see this. And the difference is that we're going to utilize the people who can see in the pre-planning. And we're going to utilize the people who can't see to report back to the people who can't see. Now, after watching people, I honestly believe that there are many people who can't see very far. Instead of thinking about things from the beginning to the end, they're okay with just seeing 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. These are the people who are more interested with, if somebody told them what to do, they will do that over and over and over again. And I believe the way we teach them is to tell them that's fine. It's good to do what they're doing. Oh, okay. I am going to extend my event. Okay. So I think that's the answer there. I believe the way this has to happen in an organization is that the visionary will have to have a way to identify who all the people are in his organization. And they're going to have to identify who can, quote, do more critical projects, who can actually go along and do the best value project. So instead of forcing them to become more like the visionary, I think the objective now is to give them what they can do. And in order to do that, we need to know who they are and what they can do. Therefore, in any company who is doing best value projects, there will only have so many visionaries. We will not have an objective to increase the number of visionaries. But we will have to identify, prioritize, be able to tell the difference between the visionary and the non-visionary. And we will have to give the non-visionary activities that they can do. So I don't believe that they will change radically. In fact, as I was going through the book and looking at things that we had to change, for example, we used to say that you have genetics. People can't change the genetics. And then you have epigenetics, and people have hopped aboard. So anything that people can change belongs with the epigenetic area. Anything that they can change, anything they can't change is in the genetic area. Anything that they can change is in the epigenetic area. Now that I understand what's going on, I would not mess with the epigenetic area. I would just say, who are these people? Basically, what can they do? Anytime we get into any type of technical details about these, people and what they could possibly change, I don't think it's worth the time. it does not mesh with the lack of time that we have. And so basically, I just say people are predisposed. And when they're predisposed, we're just going to concentrate on what they can do well. And if they're not predisposed in a certain area, we're going to let them try to find out what they can do. So anything now, I've taken it to the nth degree. Anything that requires time to figure out, anything that takes teaching somebody exactly what they're going to have to do, I believe we don't have that time anymore. Or I guess in my personal life, I don't have that time anymore. So it's really a personal decision. Is that we're going to find people who are thinking like us. And if they're thinking like us, then we'll have success in helping them utilize BVA 4.0.